7 days a week, you can enjoy an inspirational word, commentary, special interviews, and a whole lot of gospel music from Streaming Praise Radio, SPR
Live FM, Fun City Radio FM, Success Radio, the Praise Life Morning Show.
Whether you're a first responder, pastor, service member, neighbor, or educator, 1 out of every 5 people will experience a mental health issue in their life. Mental health first aid training can help you by learning a simple 5-step approach to help those experiencing a mental health or substance use disorder to make your community a healthier place. Get trained to identify, understand, and respond to the signs of mental health and substance use disorders. Contact your community mental health center to learn more about the Mental Health First Aid program.
I see it all the time. They leave early in the morning and come back very late.
The curtains, they're always closed. And there's so many people living in that house.
I know. They look scared all the time. It seems like he runs the show.
He's always talking for them.
Seems friendly enough, though.
I'm not even sure if it's the same people I saw last week.
This doesn't make any sense. We have to tell someone. We need to report this.
Modern-day slavery is happening in our own backyard. Know the signs and join the Blue Campaign in the fight to end human trafficking. Call 1-866-347-2423 or go to www.dhs.gov/bluecampaign for more information.
Hi, this is Morgan Freeman. Has anyone ever said, you're the picture of health? You look healthy and you feel fine. But that may not be the full picture. Colorectal cancer is the second leading cancer killer of men and women over 50. Doesn't always cause symptoms, but it can be prevented. Get screened. Make sure you are the picture of health.
A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention.
You're listening to the Praise Life Morning Show right on Fun City Radio FM, Success Radio, SPR Live. SPRLIVEFM.com is where you'll find a lot of stuff pertaining to our station, as well as we broadcast simultaneously on Fun City Radio FM and Success Radio. As you know, this month is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and we were trying to locate a lot of different things, but unfortunately we were unable to do that. In the meantime, between time, cancer, to me, in my headspace, I know people who say, oh, you can't do that. Cancer kills. Cancer is cancer. I know with this new pandemic that we have going on, cancer seems to be on the back burner, but it's not. It's very much prevalent in our community. Just about, I would say 12 or 13 years ago, I was privileged to interview a gentleman by the name of the late Dr. Winston Isaac, who is the co-founder, I think, or founder. I will get all that information together shortly. He was a survivor of what we call prostate cancer. And the interesting thing is that the foundation that he started is called the Walnut Foundation. Founded in 2007, the Walnut Foundation is a charitable non-profit organization established by 2 prostate survivors with different treatment experiences and shared passion for addressing the prevalence of the disease in black men. The silence in the community and the need for greater insights and information on well-being. Now, what I know and how I'm connected to this is that my former boss was the one that shared this information with me because his cousin, Dr. Winston, the late Dr. Winston, was the founder of this, and he said, hey, have you had your prostate checked? I'm like, huh? And I recognize how it needs to be checked. I'm like, that's the fear of most black men. They don't want to be tested because of how it's supposedly being tested. But this morning we have a gentleman on with us, and I'm going to make sure that I get his name correctly, and it just disappeared out of my sight, but that's quite okay. Ken Noel, who's the president of the Walnut Foundation. Let's bring Ken in, and I'm not sure he will tell me whether or not he is also a doctor or not. Good morning, sir. How are you doing this morning?
Good morning. How are you?
I am well. Are you also a doctor?
No, I'm not a doctor,
Okay.
but I'm a prostate cancer survivor.
Okay. And
And my passion for helping men brought me to this.
and I'm listening to you and I'm picking up something that sounds very familiar. I'm assuming you're also from Guyana.
Yes, I am originally.
We're home buddies, Jason.
Yeah.
We
I'm,
have
I'm
also.
outnumbered this morning, but
No,
it's
you're
all good.
not
It's all good.
outnumbered, man. You're not outnumbered. Also with us is our DJ and a GM of Streaming Praise Radio. He's with us this morning on this conversation. And Ken, we want to thank you so much for being with us, sharing with us. I know you guys have something going on this weekend.
Yes, we do.
Tell us a little bit about that.
So this is our 6th annual conference. Normally what we do is we have a conference every year where we address issues that affect the Black community, Black men specifically, or Black families. Prostate cancer, we've done this a few times, but the rising rate of prostate cancer, showed us that we've got to continue to do this. We've done other things such as healthy aging, diabetes, mental health, etc. So this year, interestingly enough, we normally have it at Ryerson University on a Saturday. Last year, we drew 200 people. This year, it's going to go virtual because of the pandemic. And interestingly enough, going virtual has really turned out to be a good thing for us in that we now have people from about 15 countries who are going to be joining us throughout the Caribbean, Europe, as far as Africa, the United States, and Canada. So this has really turned out very well for us.
I know this month because you joined forces with Movember as well.
Yes, for
okay,
this
good.
conference.
But this month is known as Breast Cancer Month, and
Yes.
most people say, well, why are you guys starting it now as opposed to in November? Or why are you doing the program now as opposed to November?
So the tradition had it that we normally did it between September and October.
Okay.
September is Prostate Cancer Month.
Okay.
But we normally have done it in October.
Okay.
November is Movember's fundraising month. So we decided to hold it in between, towards the end, which really runs into November, which is Movember's fundraising month.
Right.
Prostate.
Now, I know, I remember the first time I had my prostate checked. That's when my former boss, Charles, said to me, have you ever had it done? I'm like, no. He says, you need to go get it done. You're at that age. I'm like thinking, how do you get it done? I mean, when he told me, I'm like, man, I feel violated already. You just telling me that I'm not going to get that done. He says, you think about violation or you think about your health? I'm thinking, you know what? That's how most Black men think.
And you 100% correct. And that's the thing that's keeping a lot of Black men from not getting checked. It's very simple. I mean, first of all, you have to get a blood test.
Correct.
And the blood test determines your PSA level, which is within your blood.
Correct.
Now, normally, as a young man, your PSA levels are always 0. But as you age, you're going to see it started to climb. And when you get to about the age of 40, 45, what the doctors are looking for is to see if that number moves, if it moves from 0 and starts to climb. If they determine that there's a spike, then the second test comes in, which is the one that men fear. And the second test is a digital rectal exam. And it's over in like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
We tell men, well, if you're afraid of it, get a female doctor who has smaller fingers.
You hear, Jason? Are you not 45 yet, are you?
I'm making note. I'm in between 44. I'm not ashamed of my age. 43. I'm 43.
Okay, so you're close to there, and that's what exactly the problem is. I remember the first time I went to my doctor, and he said, "How old are you?" I said, 45. He says, "Have you ever had your prostate tested?" I said, "No." He says, "Come, let's get it done." I said, "What do you mean, let's get it done?" He says, "Come on, get undressed. Just turn, go in the fetal position." And as quick as he said it, it was over. I'm thinking, "You done?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "Wow." He said, "Yeah."
Is testing the prostate. They're feeling to see if there's any abnormalities, and that's just it. That's it. And if they find any abnormalities, then they start to monitor you then
Right.
They start looking at your PSAs. You have to probably go back every 6 months, and then they start checking you. The interesting thing is if you have prostate cancer in your family, whether it's a grandfather, father, brother, then the possibility of you getting prostate cancer rises immensely. This is where you have to take note. You
Why
have
is
to
that?
understand your family history
Why is
because
that?
it is a genetic disease.
Okay.
It
Didn't
is
know
a
that.
genetic disease.
Didn't know that. I'm assuming you also were a survivor of this, right?
Yes, I am.
How did, when you first got the news, what was the effect it had on you?
That I had prostate cancer.
Mm-hmm.
I was in shock. My wife was with me, and after he said we found the cancer, I don't think I heard the next thing the doctor said because all my mind went to is I'm going to die. But my wife started to ask all the questions. At that point, I was zoned out, completely zoned out. But I picked up the phone on the way out and I called a friend of mine who I knew had prostate cancer. And through speaking with him, then he started to alleviate some of the fears that I had. I mean, I never even heard the doctor say to me, "You're not going to die from this." I never heard those words out of his mouth, but he said that you're not going to die from this. As long as we aggressively treat it, you're not going to die. So yes, it is a shock, but when you step back and you start to get the information, start to speak to people, this is how I contacted the Walnut Foundation because they took me on, they started to guide me through the whole process.
3 years ago, I'm supposed to be tested sooner than later. 3 years ago, where were you? With 20? Actually, no, more like about 4 years ago. Out of the blue, I find that whenever I go to sit, I was having this tremendous pain, and I wasn't sure what was going on. And I was thinking, why am I getting this pain? So I had myself test. My doctor did what you call a rectal test, like right away, and she actually is female, and I was told her, she says, okay, let me check. She says it's a little spongy. It's not hard, nothing to worry about, but we will check you in 5 years. So I'm at my 5 year period right now where I'm supposed to be checked again to make sure that everything is safe and everything is okay. And you know, one of the things that I check for, I think they say if it's getting out of hand, your urinal tract, the flow tends to slow down a little bit. Am I correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
So not all issues around that area are cancerous. So normally there is also swollen prostate where the prostate gets enlarged, and then that affects your urinary functions. That's treated through drugs. They give you drugs to reduce it and to alleviate the pain. They also check to see if it's cancerous. And not all cases it's cancerous. So in your case, you know, if it's not cancerous but it's swollen, there are drugs that
Well, actually, I didn't even get any drugs. She just said, let's keep watching it for the next couple of weeks, see what you. I think I did my own Guyanese home remedy stuff to make sure that I'm okay. I went online and I started looking. I said, no, you're not gonna take me out. I don't care what are you trying to do right now. I don't, to tell you the truth, like yourself, I kind of zoned on when she says it's a little spongy, but it's nothing for you to worry about. And after then, all I'm thinking, I need to make sure that this pain goes. Whatever spongy need to go away, it needs to go back to normal. I went on a radical diet change. You named the whole 9 yards. I just went crazy on that kind of stuff.
The right thing with that. Diet change is very important. That's one of the things that I did as well, because socioeconomic factors and diets affect men with prostate cancer hugely. I mean, in Canada, we don't have data, race-based data, but in the United States, where they do keep race-based data, found that black men, obese black men, you know, because of diets and that type of thing, major impact on their health. The cancer gets very aggressive because it feeds on fat cells, right?
Right. And
So diet is very important.
I could just imagine hearing something like that. If you're fragile already mentally, how much more it can affect you that way. It put you into a kind of a depression.
Yes, yes.
I guess.
Myself, I became a vegetarian right away.
Okay.
And still I'm vegetarian.
So
but I
you eat
looked
no
after
form of
my-
meat at all? No meat at all?
I eat some fish,
Fish, okay. Yeah.
but I got out of red meat, and a lot of exercise, a lot of meditation, and that's the thing that actually took me right through it and helped me a lot.
I just wanted to comment, interject that I did get an opportunity to watch your video from the website.
Yeah.
And again, a powerful testimony. Honestly, I'll be frank. After watching the video, I was kind of like, wow, I needed to hear this because it's something you know about, but so far removed.
Mm-hmm.
And so hearing your testimony and someone else's reality with this kind of brought, I guess, needed reminder as a Black male, not to take this thing lightly and so on. So I'm glad we're able to have this discussion, and I'm glad we're able to share with the listeners because it's very important. And one of the things that I took away from listening to your testimony is that support is the key.
Mm-hmm.
Having timely support. And unfortunately, us men, more so Black men, we're so fragmented in the sense that most of us think that we are, a one-man show, or sometimes not too trustworthy of the proper, authentic, or even how to find the kind of support that's needed. And we tend to go on one man stands alone kind of mentality, and unfortunately succumb to a lot of things. So again, that was one of the things that echoed from your video testimony from the Walnut Foundation website. Timely support is absolutely necessary, and that is the key of even going through if you find yourself with it, or even for taking preventative measures before the onset of it.
Yes, you actually brought up a great point. Typically, Black men don't talk about this because of the impact on their sexual functions. Mm-hmm. There is impact, temporary impact. So they don't speak about this. It's sort of a bit of a shameful situation. But a few things, very important. When you involve the family, your wife, your daughters, your sons, they become extremely supportive in the journey. And we've had evidence where the family together is a huge help in this. The second point is that organizations like the Walnut Foundation, we provide support. We get calls from men saying, I've just been to the doctor, I'm just diagnosed. We then take over with them and help them through the process. Not medically, we don't give medical advice, but we bring information to them, we speak to them, we let them know what their options are. And they can call us through the whole process. And that's very important. The third thing is, one of the reasons why we're partnering with Movember is that they've got an excellent program called True North, where they link men who've got prostate cancer with other men who've had similar experiences. Mm-hmm. And so those men actually guide them through the whole process. From a mental perspective, giving them information, they can call them up in the middle of the night and say, this is how I'm feeling. And the men would guide them through that whole process. And that has proven to be extremely successful in getting through this whole adventure of prostate cancer. But very key to family is very important.
I understand this weekend you guys are having a huge, and I say huge because it's worldwide this time,
yes.
program going on. What time the program starts, and how long is it going to be? Is it a 4-hour program, or is it just a 1 hour? What's happening this time?
No, it actually is in total it's 5 hours. Mm-hmm. There are breaks in between. We give people a chance to get their lunch and go to the washrooms. It starts at 9 a.m. and we're gonna wrap up between 1:30 and 2 p.m. Mm-hmm. We have a number of speakers, some of them from the Caribbean, actually. We have Dr. Dwayne Thwaites from Antigua. He's a urologist that we've done some work with in the Caribbean as well. Dr. Robin Roberts from the Bahamas. He's a professor at UWI. He's also a urologist, very good speaker. We've got Dr. Andrew Matthew from Princess Margaret here in Toronto, and he's going to address the thing that really gets Black men not wanting to do this. He's going to address the sexuality aspect of it, the impact to your sexual health, and to let you know that, you know, this is only temporary. There are ways around it. It's really good. And since I said before that we don't keep race-based data in Canada, so we've got Dr. Aisha Lofters, a professor at U of T, a Black woman, is going to talk about race-based data and the effect on prostate cancer, or the lack of. And so we're trying to get, the Walnut Foundation is teamed with her to try and get at race-based data. Because as I said, prostate cancer attacks Black men of West African descent. And a lot of, through slavery, a lot of it came down from West Africa into the Caribbean and the United States. And this is where they find the prevalence is. There's a lot of good work being done at Sunnybrook Hospital in terms of genetic testing and genetic research to find out why is this happening. So, you know, we're doing a lot of work with them around that to get to the bottom of it. And then we have, of course, we have a family, a survivor, and they're going to talk about their experiences. It's important to hear from someone, a survivor, and his family, his wife and his daughters have gladly agreed to be part of this and to share their experiences, their journey, how they helped their father through the whole thing. So it's 9 a.m. tomorrow morning, and to register, we have to go to our website, which is thewalnutfoundation.com, or the whole URL is https://thewalnutfoundation.com. It's not too late to register. It's free. When you register, we send you a Zoom link, and that gets you into the conference tomorrow.
Are you guys going to have this recorded so that it can be repeated on a different platform later on?
We're going to record it, and we're going to put it on our website so people can go back and listen to specific speakers. We're trying to break it up by speaker. If you want to listen to a specific speaker, then you can do that as well.
Okay. You know, it's amazing. I'm sitting here, I'm thinking how many men I knew that had prostate cancer or was touched by prostate cancer. I'm trying to remember a particular gentleman. I met him through while working at Toronto General Hospital at the time, and he was diagnosed stage 4 prostate cancer. And he was originally from Barbados, and he said, you know, I am going home. He says, if I'm going to die, I prefer to die home. So, and this is a true story. I was surprised. Didn't see him for almost a year. Didn't hear from him. Didn't hear anything because, you know. And my thoughts were maybe he did pass on. A year later, I saw him and I says, "How you doing?" He says, "Man, I'm doing great." He said what he did was he went home, spent 6 months home, and he said he started to feel better, really, really healthy. He says every day I went to the sea. He said I ate healthy. I walked every day, and he says every day I got stronger and stronger. So he decided to come back to Canada to do a test and to see what's going on. They asked him, "What did you do?" Because from a stage 4, you just shrank right back down to almost a stage 1 where it's treatable now. He said, I just spent a lot of time on the beach, a lot of time in the sun, and they tell him, keep doing what you're doing. And that's the only person that I know. I don't know where he's at today. I would have loved to have him on this conversation. That I heard come from a stage 4 all the way back down. Because people, when they hit stage 4, that's it. It's over. And that's the only person I know. And then there was a DJ AB out of England who called me because I didn't hear from him for a while. He says, my brother, have you ever been tested? I said, I have. He says, I just want you to know that I have it now. I'm like, what? So I've had different experiences, people close to me, people from a distance, and these are all black men. And for
Statistically, 1 in 7 men, black men, 1 in 7 will be diagnosed with prostate cancer.
yeah, and the interesting thing is that it's an easy fix. It's an easy
It's an easy
fix.
fix. Caught early, it's dealt with. More black men die of prostate cancer. They don't have to. If caught early, they're dealt with and they live a happy and healthy life for the rest and they won't die from prostate cancer.
Yeah.
That's the amazing thing about it. Is that there's no difference in treatment between white men and black men. White men tend to catch it earlier. Therefore, their death rates are way lower than black men.
I think for us as a community, black men and period, just don't like going to doctors.
And they're proud to say it as well.
Exactly. I don't have to go to a doctor, man. I'm healthy, and you're not you're not healthy. Go see a doctor. I mean, I'm not forcing you to go see it, but if you're not feeling 100%, I'm one of those guys. I check myself ever so often to make sure that I'm okay, and if I see something abnormal, I would go check it out and make sure that I'm all right, because I don't want to the latter stage saying I wish I had done this, I wish I had done that. Do it early, get it over with.
You know how many funerals I've been to here where the spouse would come up to me and says he didn't have to die if he had only told me, or if he'd only gone to the doctor early on, this would have been dealt with. But it's always too late. And this is where in the Walnut Foundation we try to educate men. Get yourself tested. Know your numbers. And this is one of the big things we tell people. Know your numbers. Understand what your numbers are and then track it.
Again, we want to thank Ken for joining us this morning. Ken Noel, president of the Walnut Foundation. And I also thank our GM for joining us this morning right here on the Praise Life Morning Show, Fun City Radio FM, Success Radio, SPRLIVE FM. Tomorrow, October 24th, it's going to be the wellness conference that is going to be held via Zoom, and he already told you how you can go on and check it out. Go on to the Walnut Foundation. I think it's thewalnutfoundation.com.
Yes.
Register. Women, if you're listening, I know you got brothers and you got friends, male friends, especially if they're of that age. There's nothing wrong with getting information. There's nothing wrong with checking yourself out, especially as black brothers. We need to get ourselves checked. So we want to thank you so much for joining us this morning.
You're welcome. It's nice to be here.
And I tell you, I will tell you this much. I will do my very best to come on tomorrow. I might be in and out of it because of the fact there's so many things happening tomorrow for me. But I've every year I keep promising. I promised Dr. Winston I was going to come on and join the conference. I promised Mr. Barnwell that I'll join the conference as well. I promised Charles that I'll join it. Now I'm making the same promise to you. Even if I stop in for just an hour, I'm going to do my very best to be there tomorrow.
Yeah, register and get the Zoom link, and then you can drop in at any time.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
You have yourself a blessed day.
You too.
Okay,
Thank you.
God bless. Bye-bye.
Bye.
We want to thank Ken from the Walnut Foundation joining us right here on the Praise Life Morning Show. We're going to get back to some more music, and then we're going to have a conversation a little later on with our GM right here on the Praise Life Morning Show. Fun City Radio FM, Success Radio, SPRLIVE. My name is Clement. Thank you so much for being with us.
JD, one father, you turn Chris.